You're watching E.T.N. Entertainment-related new, entertainment-related discussion. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for SmackDown this past Tuesday night. And I know this review is about a day late, and I know last week I didn't get to do the review for SmackDown. Unfortunately, I got very sick, as many of you know, and I was sick all the way throughout the weekend up until Monday this week. So, but this week we're going to do the review, and it was a big superstar shakeup for this week, and we did speak about the Raw one. Now let's talk about SmackDown. SmackDown was a pretty good show. Actually, I thought it was very good, to be honest. And as we can see, now that the rosters are all set, SmackDown has so much smaller of a roster than Raw does, but they seem to have some of the better wrestlers. And we'll go through this real quick here as I look at my notes. So the beginning of the night, AJ Styles comes out, and he's basically calling out Nakamura. And oddly enough, Rusev comes out. And that's not such a bad thing, because Rusev is very over right now. A lot of people want him to get pushed. Hasn't quite gotten it yet. He's got a big match coming up at the Greatest Royal Rumble. We'll see where that places him. I very much doubt he's going to win that match. But this would have been a good match to see if it hadn't been for the fact that, like, not even 5 minutes into it, Aiden English comes in, interferes. Rusev gets eliminated via disqualification, or rather loses via disqualification. And then Daniel Bryan comes out, and Daniel Bryan saves and helps AJ Styles, leading to our eventual main event, which includes Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles versus Rusev and Aiden English. So, yeah, you know, that's how that turned out. So let's see here. Okay, so then the next segment was really, really good. So Shelton Benjamin comes out, and he did pretty good on the mic. It was a nice little promo / shoot on Chad Gable, who's now on Raw, and basically talking about, well, there was a Twitter post saying, you know, basically giving props to Chad Gable, his former tag team partner. And then Benjamin comes out and he starts talking trash about, you know, his Twitter account being hacked, and he would never say any of that. And so, you know, he's talking smash. Finally, he calls out some serious competition. Randy Orton comes out, which is great. Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin would be an entertaining match. But halfway down the ramp, Randy Orton's music cuts off, and after a couple of seconds, Jeff Hardy music starts. So now we get confirmation that Jeff Hardy is on SmackDown. A lot of people figured that when he won the U.S. title. And Randy did not look pleased about that. So it looks like they might be starting a Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy feud, possibly, which would be very good. Much preferred over Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton, who Randy Orton, just for some reason, Jinder Mahal was his bugaboo, right? He never beat Jinder Mahal at all. So so that was pretty good. That was an expected surprise, but it turned out to be a really good match. I really liked it. And Jeff Hardy is what, 41 now? It's 40, 41, and he's he's still got the skills, man. His Swanton bombs are looking great, and it was a fun match. Be interesting to see where Shelton Benjamin goes. I'm sure he's going to be a top player in the mid card. So very, very good match. So then we had a one-on-one. Excuse me. I'm just, like I said, I'm checking out my notes here. I want to make sure, because I have the matches listed, and then I just want to make sure I don't forget any segments in between that, because I know there was a point where Samoa Joe came out, but I'm trying to remember if he came out before this next match or after. And I think he comes out. Yeah, okay, he comes out after this match. Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure. So the next one was Jey Uso versus Harper. And once again, you know, the Bludgeon Brothers right now are the top dog in terms of tag team. They have just manhandled the Usos. They have manhandled the New Day when they faced them. This was no different. Harper versus Jey Uso. And Harper and Rowan were about to drop the hammers on him again. And surprisingly, but not disappointingly, because this is an interesting twist, Naomi comes out to save, obviously, her husband, and she begs and pleads with the Bludgeon Brothers not to do anything, and they actually show some mercy. Like, Harper stops Rowan and tells him, let's go. And, I for a second there, I said to myself, oh, my God. But I got to remember that, I'm still 2 years into watching wrestling again from all those years watching it from the 80s all the way to the early 2000s. So immediately the first thing I thought was, oh, my God, are they going to powerbomb her or some shit or but then I'm like, oh, yeah, no, they don't do that now. PG-13, they're not going to touch the woman, even though we saw Ronda Rousey go at it with Triple H. But, if it was like 10, 15 years ago, she would have gotten her ass whooped by the Bludgeon Brothers. So, but, it is what it is. I still like the Bludgeon Brothers very much. Obviously, this match was very underwhelming, but an interesting twist there at the end nonetheless. So the next match was Sin Cara versus Samoa Joe. But before that happened, Samoa Joe had come out earlier and basically trash talking the SmackDown roster and calling out Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles and other wrestlers, Randy Orton, things of that nature. And he's a big time. This guy's great on the mic and basically destroyed Sin Cara in this match. We don't really have to discuss it. You guys know obviously where this match went. If you haven't seen it, Sin Cara versus Samoa Joe, come on. But I think the big thing here, the big surprise was, number one, he is on SmackDown. Number two, the fact that he's calling out all the big superstars on SmackDown. And number three, what does this mean for his Roman Reigns match that he has coming up at Backlash? Now, we know that all the pay-per-views this year are going to be both rosters on the same pay-per-view. You may have a couple of promotional matches here and there that include a SmackDown wrestler versus a Raw wrestler, but for the most part, each brand is going to have their matches on the same pay-per-view. That's what it basically means. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the Greatest Royal Rumble between Reigns and Lesnar, how that affects the Samoa Joe and Reigns match at Backlash, and how that affects things going forward, considering they're both on separate brands, because they kind of have you kind of get the idea they're starting a feud with them, but if they're not on the same brand, how are they going to promote that feud? Maybe it'll be a pay-per-view thing. I don't know if they're going to fight every pay-per-view, but maybe the pay-per-view will be an opportunity for them to continue on the rivalry between these two wrestlers. And then eventually maybe they meet at SummerSlam for a title or something like that. So we'll see. I know the big rumor is that Lashley will face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam for the titles, but I don't know. I have a feeling that they will finally give Reigns that title next Friday. So yeah, so that's that. And then we had Carmella's Melibration. This Carmella thing is kind of funny. To me, it looks like she. I'm thinking she might have an unofficial. What's the word I'm looking for? An unofficial faction with the Iconics. Yeah, we can't call them Iconic Duo anymore. The Iconics, but I mean that remains. It's just the fact that they all kind of work together to beat up on Charlotte and stuff like that. But this was funny because we start off with her celebration, then obviously Charlotte Flair comes out and talks about how it was thanks to Billie Kay and Peyton Royce that she even got the title that she got. That led to a one-on-one match between Charlotte Flair and Billie Kay, in which eventually all hell broke loose. Charlotte started getting beat on, and then she was rescued by Becky Lynch, and then eventually Asuka, who we finally now know. When I was a little concerned there that we hadn't seen her for a while, because since WrestleMania, we didn't see her on Raw. We didn't see her, I don't think, on the shows, on either show after WrestleMania. We didn't see her on Raw this past Monday. Excuse me. So I was concerned for a minute. I'm like, wait, what are they doing with her? What is, so what, the streak is over? That's it? The story's over? I mean, but she came out. Some people thought that she might turn heel as well. But so far, she seems to be on the good side and, she's remaining a face. And she came out to help Charlotte. And it looks like we might have a little 3-on-3 rivalry here between Charlotte, Asuka, and Lynch, and Royce, Carmella, and Kay. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be pretty interesting to watch. So then finally we see the return of Big Cass and they show him towards the end, and you know, I mean, he's talking trash to Daniel Bryan, talking about him being a little man. That was one thing. And then later, we finally get the AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan versus Rusev and Aiden English. Match itself was pretty good, but later on in the match, towards the end, Nakamura comes out, gets AJ in the balls again, and then finally, Big Cass comes out to the ring, gives Daniel Bryan a big boot, basically telling everybody that, well, Big Cass is going to be a big push. So, aside from that, they did give some other, and I have it written down here because I have basically the updated roster after the shakeup. And I want to go to the SmackDown one because there were other big announcements that, excuse me, that came through for SmackDown. And basically Sanity, which is, let me pull it up here. Wolf, Young, and Killian Dane are coming up from NXT, so that's a big deal. But they're not coming up with the young lady, I forget her name. She actually started the faction from what I understand. And I can't remember her name at the moment. It escapes me. But you guys who are hardcore fans that pay attention, you guys know who I'm talking about. You'll probably mention it in the comments. And then Cien Almas is coming up, which is a great call up. That's really, I mean, SmackDown really has some quality superstars, and that's a big deal. Where Raw seems to have a large amount, but they've got a lot of the fodder. So I'm guessing that they're gonna give some wrestlers an opportunity to grow on Raw, which is why they have such a big roster. They have a 3-hour show. There's more time. So maybe there's some of these wrestlers that have been sitting there collecting dust. They brought over to Raw to give them an opportunity to get a push, see how the fans react to certain wrestlers they throw out there, and then try and run with the ones that do well. Where SmackDown, because it's a shorter show, it's only 2 hours, you have a smaller roster, but you have higher quality wrestlers because whatever you throw out there, it's got to be high quality. You only have 2 hours to really entertain. And I think the way they split it is a good job. It's just that Raw might suffer a little bit. And because of that, you know, I think SmackDown will probably be the better show this year. But it's exciting. I mean, it's good stuff. You know, I thought SmackDown was really good. A lot of new stars coming in. Some more stars turning over. And I think they've got, we didn't even mention The Miz, but then we mentioned that on the Raw show, so on the Raw review. But that's going to be a great rivalry there as well with The Miz and Daniel Bryan. The Miz is just great at bringing heat and elevating other people in terms of fans cheering for his opponents. I'm a big fan of The Miz. I think he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers right now because I'm a big fan of heels, and he's just a great one. So, but yeah, it looks fun. It looks like it's going to be a fun year for Raw and SmackDown. And we're going to be doing a fantasy year in advance booking for WrestleMania 35. This was a request from Al Tinsley on Patreon. So we're going to do that. Hopefully that'll be up tomorrow. I feel strongly it'll be up tomorrow because I already have the wrestlers separated from this roster list I have that I think will be in WrestleMania 35. And we're going to do that. So yeah. That should be fun, and that's it. That's it for this video. All right, guys. So that's SmackDown and Raw this week. Very good. I enjoyed them, and I think I can't wait to watch the Greatest Royal Rumble next Friday. I think that'll be a lot of fun. We'll see what happens there. I think that's Friday afternoon, right? I think they said it was Friday at 12 noon because they're obviously in another country. So over there it'll be in the evening. Over here it'll be noontime. So maybe we'll talk about that for next Friday's stream or do a review of it before the stream next Friday. But anyway, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Or you can click here to become an E.T.N patron. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.